rowed on this part of the river from Mortlake to Putney pose a unique set of problems for coxers. For a crew to do well on this course, the cox needs to know the stream and obstacles they may encounter well before racing on the Tideway. The first obstacle that you will encounter is Barnes Railway Bridge, about 3 minutes from the start. By the time Barnes is reached, boats may well be more than one abreast across the river. As with most of the course, the quickest and safest line through Barnes Bridge is via the middle of the central span. This map shows where the stream is at its deepest and therefore fastest. Cutting corners will only lose you more time than following the quicker water around the bend. If your crew is in the latter half of the race, there may be tidal shoals appearing along the course. These will be shown on a map provided by your race where appropriate. The most notorious of these are the flats close by Fulham Football Club on the Middlesex bank near the finish. Therefore, take this corner wide, but be aware of the black buoy just off the Putney embankment.
When in the marshalling area, it is vitally important to listen to the instructions given you by the marshals and be aware of everything that goes on around you. It should be noted that you cannot engage in warming up within this area. The men's head, with 420 crews on the water at the same time, demonstrates how confusing and hazardous the marshalling area can become if the cox doesn't listen and look, with crews moving up to the start long after the race has begun.
All right, everybody start, ready to move.
As a cox in charge of a crew, you must fully acquaint yourself with all the instructions, local rules and rules of navigation before the race, and make sure that you get onto station in plenty of time. Cross to the correct side of the river for your division well before the start of the race. Keep well into the bank, only overtake in single file. Be prepared to paddle hard to avoid bunching, and even to remain stationary. And always listen to instructions.
Okay, free press, let's go.
When directed by the marshals, you should move with your division, whilst holding your position, to above the start at Chiswick Bridge, and under instructions from the marshals, turn in division to come down through the start. Some races employ variations of this basic model. Check your race instructions. When turning, don't tap the boat around. Turn your bows towards the middle of the river and use the flow of the tide to bring you round. Otherwise, you will be left too close to the bank with some tricky manoeuvring to do. Also, when moving in division, ensure that you don't overlap your bows on the inside of the crew in front. This will cause extreme difficulty when you come to turn.
As you row down to pass the rolling start, aim for the central span of Chiswick Bridge, taking account of any crosswinds which will drive you towards either bank. Once through the bridge, hold a central course round the bend to shoot Barnes Bridge. Be aware of crews overtaking at this early stage of the race. Don't cut the first bend off the start, but be aware of going too wide. As you aim towards Barnes Railway Bridge, the fastest course is the centre of the centre arch of the railway bridge. As you approach the bridge, be aware of the wind and the strong currents, so don't aim too close to the buttresses because the swirly water can sometimes pull you onto them.
From Barnes Bridge, continue following the centre of the stream on towards the crossing point, just above Corney Reach. This is the pontoon, where boats returning from the finish on the Surrey side of the river cross, under instructions from the marshals, to the Middlesex bank. Be aware that this is what's happening. Any crew crossing the river without the permission of this or other marshals specified in your race instructions will be disqualified.
From Chiswick Steps, past the Ayot, the river widens and splits to two channels round the island. Following the wider channel to the right of the Ayot, remember that the fastest course is in the middle of the stream. There is a lot more room to overtake on this stretch of the river. However, leaving the faster flowing water can cost time, and if you take the bend too wide, you can get into difficulties as it tightens again past St Paul's School. Also, remember that whilst the crew being overtaken should move out of the way of the faster crew, it is also for the overtaking crew to pass safely and avoid clashing. Leaving this manoeuvre to the last minute will cost more time than anticipating the need to move over and edging over gradually.
The fastest course through Hammersmith Bridge is just to the right of the centre. However, many crews go wide on this bend and end up passing under the first lamppost from the Middlesex side, as here, rather than the second lamppost from the Surrey buttress, as shown by this crew. Through the last stretch of the course, the fastest flowing water is closer to the Surrey bank, as the tidal shoals start appearing to the Middlesex side.
As you come round the final bend, make sure you are aiming for the Middlesex side of the line of moored boats behind the Black Buoy. If you go on the Surrey side, you will get disqualified. Don't cut the corner by Fulham Football Club, otherwise you'll move into the slack water, which will lose you lengths in time. You should aim to be at least 2 blade lengths away from the Black Buoy and line of boats. The Black Buoy is a hazard that could lose you your boat, and remember, it can be really hard for the cocks to see it when there are no boats moored to it.
Well, we were coming up along and there's a Black Buoy just there and we're coming straight for it. Nobody gave us a shout or a warning, Cox couldn't see it. They hit it full pelt, didn't even see it. Cox is a bit shook up, but she's okay. The boat got the brunt of it.
As you come down the final stretch, make sure you come across the finish line before winding down. You should aim to pass cleanly through the centre arch of Putney Bridge. Row through the finish, but don't turn until you are through the railway bridge. Avoid waiting in this congested area due to following crews. Turn towards the Surrey bank and return to the inside of the moored boats and pier, although this may differ from race to race. It is essential that you check your race instructions about all the points in this film.